What's up, guys? Welcome to the Crypto Savvy channel. I'm Craig, and let's go over the charts. I do believe everything is topped. This is not financial advice. I believe everything topped actually a long time ago. We are in a bear market rally, in my opinion. Now, watch the whole video. We're going to go over a bunch of different charts, starting out with gold, then silver, S&P, Dow Jones, DXY. We're going to take a look at everything. And then at the end of the video, I want you to tell me what you think. Are you still on the bullish side, or are you on the bearish side? I believe we are going to witness the biggest money grab in history. I've been talking about this since December 2nd, 2021. Definitely stick around for the whole video. I think it'll at least give you another way to look at things. I'm not telling you that you have to agree with me, but it's something you should probably watch. There's a couple more things. Ben Armstrong is supposed to put out a statement today, and we can hear his side of what's going on with the Bitboy Crypto thing. That should be out sometime today. I'm not sure of the time, but I will be keeping track of that on Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter. Link is down below. Also, we're going to take a look at some other stuff. And I wanted to ask you guys before that, make sure you hit that thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already for these updates. We have been tracking this market, and we've literally called this whole thing for like 2 years now. So the macro is playing out exactly as we expected. We are in our bear market rally. It has ended, in my opinion. We had our 100% rally after the false bottom for Bitcoin. I believe we got further down to go. We'll also be taking a look at XRP, Ethereum, and Litecoin at the end of the video also. But I'm thinking about, now that we're getting settled into the new home, not quite settled yet, but we're getting settled, of doing a live stream maybe once or twice a week and going over coins of your choice. I used to do that a while back until we started building the house and stuff, but I think I'm thinking about starting to do that again. Let me know if you guys are interested below, and I'll do the live stream. We'll go over coins or stocks of your choice and look at it and just kind of look at the short views of what's going on with it. If that sounds good to you, make sure you smash the likes. Leave your comments down below. Let me know, do you think it should be on the weekend, a couple days a week, or what your opinion is on that. So let's get into it. Let's see what's going on in the markets. So we have gold up right now. As you guys know, I think gold's topped. I think this was a triple top on the daily. You can see this number 5 here. I'll show you that on the weekly here in a minute. But what I've been looking for and still looking for is this 1559, which would be the one-to-one extension from back over here. But I also have a target down here around 14 to 1500, somewhere in this range. But if we go out to the weekly, I have this drawn out as a 5-wave structure finished. And these, we could, if we break these trend lines here, this one being around 1500, 1450, right in that range. If we break that trend line, then we're looking for around 1296. And this could be part of the biggest money grab in history. But first, we would have to break this 1450. That may be the end of it at 1450-ish, if I'm correct here. But it does look like we had a triple top on our wave 5. We had our big wave 1 way back here in 81, and we had our wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and wave 5. Does look like a finished wave. Now, all this goes together, right? So now we'll look at the silver chart. Silver, our targets remain the same. We're looking to come back down to this $20 range. If this breaks around 15 bucks, possibly, if things get really bad. Not saying it has to go this low, but it could go down to around 7 bucks. And if we look at it on the weekly, same type thing here, right? So let me get this out of the way. That would be coming back down to where the bubble began. We've talked about these bubble pop patterns. This was a huge bear market rally, right? After this drop, and now for a more downside. Let's take a look at Dow Jones. This is the daily. We'll zoom out to the weekly here in a minute. Let me get the RSI out of our way. So far, we did tap below this trend line just a little bit. Could we move it down? Possibly, but I like where we're at here. If the Dow Jones gets above this 35,850, 35,9 range, then we could be going to tap a new all-time high. But since we already broke this bottom trend line right here, let me zoom in. I think we're going to break this again. If we break this bottom trend line again, you guys know my target is around 27.5, right? This is on the daily. If we move out to the weekly, I can show you how bad it could get if I'm correct about the biggest money grab in history, right? That would get us down to around that 27.5. And we do have lower targets here also around 21 or 22.1. I think I might have had this on a monthly to have the, oh no. But as you can see, just another bubble. I think it's popping. I think we could go back to where the bubble began. So be careful with the Dow Jones. Is that the Dow Jones? Why is this on the Dow Jones? Oh, yeah, the Dow Jones. So we could get as low as back down here to this 1400 range if this is a big drop. Remember, in 2008, we had a massive drop that nobody expected. Just be careful with all the things going on with Evergrande and all that. NASDAQ. So here is our daily, right? We came back up, tested the median of this rising channel and got rejected. Right now it's trying to continue back up. But what I'm looking for is around the 14.3 to 14.4 range. If this does break, I do have a target at 12.2. And then if we go in the weekly here, did I have it? Yeah, just looking at it on the weekly, see, right? Big, huge bear market rally before a continuation to the downside. Looks like we have much, much further to go. Same thing on the RSI up here. You had this triple top. All the markets to me right now are pointing to the downside. If you disagree, just let me know why in the comments below. I am curious to hear that. But you can also see here, you have a lower high in the price action, a higher high in the RSI. That is bearish divergence. So just be careful. S&P, same thing. We've actually got it back above the median here, but I don't believe that's going to hold. I think we come back down. But the bottom of this channel here is 42,224. If that breaks, we could see as low as this $3,000 range, right? Dow Jones, I don't see it going much lower than like 16-ish, 13 maybe if we do have a massive drop. But my targets for S&P are down here around 37 all the way down to possibly way back down here to test this bottom trend line. That is from way back in 09. Imagine that, where the bubble started. Let's look at this on the weekly. All right, so on the weekly, as you can see, it would be coming back down to where the bubble began. So just be careful. If this breaks, we could go much lower, all the way back down to this area here. And at the end of the video, I'll show you some more bubble pops that have already played out and how they come back to return to where they began, right? As you can see here, let me show you. See this structure here with this rising channel? If we go back here to 2008, we had the same type deal, the drop, the rising channel, and then the big collapse. Again, I'm not saying this has to happen, but I would be very cautious in the markets. The biggest money grab in history could lead to the biggest opportunity in history. This is not doom and gloom, guys. This is showing you what may be the biggest opportunity of our lifetime to get in at the bottom of these markets. Tesla, as you guys know, we've had these targets forever. We had these blue lines drawn out from way back here in 22, right? If we hit the 151, I said watch for a bounce there. We broke through it. I told you 106 was the next area. That's why these are in blue. They're bounce areas. We got a huge bounce there, right? And then we got rejected at our trend line right here, as we expected. And now continuation to the downside. Now the support lies around 213. If we break the 213, we come back down to test the 151. If that breaks, 106. And as I've been saying for 2 years, I am a buyer of Tesla at 50 to 60 bucks. I have not changed that. I'm still looking for that. Could I be wrong? Absolutely. But as of now, everything seems to be playing out exactly as we expected, right? DXY, the dollar, is very strong. I've been telling you guys that. Once we broke this area here, that 103.48, which was this falling wedge, I'm expecting us to come up to at least this 106 range, 106.5, somewhere in there. Once that breaks, if we get support, looking for 109, then 115, and then we have much, much higher targets possible, and we'll look at that after we see what happens here. Now, if we get back below, if this does drop and drops back below here, below the 102.9 area, then we could start looking at it a little differently, that maybe the bottom's in for everything and the DXY is crashing. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm still very bullish on the DXY. Now let's look at the long-term Bitcoin. This is the monthly. Here's another 5-wave count, right? Perfect 5-wave structure here with 5 waves within it. All your corrections on your 2 and 4 wave. Still looking at this as a possible ABC. There's a few different ways to look at this, and we're going to look at it in the weekly. 2 different ways, right? 2 different counts on the weekly. Bubble pop count, and then a big correction falling wedge count. So here's the bubble pop count. Wave 1, 2, 3. This was 4, and we have our lower low, our true bottom after our false bottom, and our 100% rally that we've been talking about. You can see the weekly hidden bearish divergence, right? Right here, I have it marked in the white. And then you have the bearish divergence right here in the yellow. Lower highs in RSI, higher highs in the price action. We also broke our weekly trend line right here. Now, if we were to get a pump up, which is possible, to get a quick pump up to get everybody, excited again, it could go as high as this 28.8 range. But first, we would have to get over the 55 EMA, which lies right around 27,000. So I'd watch for it. If we do get a massive pump, watch for 27,000 and then a continuation to the downside. What we can also look at here is this count here being a falling wedge, right? I have it marked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Some people like to mark it A, B, C, D, E in a wedge because wave 4 can never, surpass wave 1. Well, in a wedge, if you study Elliott wave theory, then it can in a correction pattern. This is not an impulse. A 4 cannot cross a 1 in an impulse. This is not an impulse. This is a corrective pattern, right? So if that's the case, our E wave would be down to this range, 3,700 to 9,700. I still think that is a very good possibility. Nevertheless, I do think we see lower lows here. I've not changed my opinion on that. Here was the last low, right? Let's look at it. High to a low, to a lower high, to a lower low, to a lower high, because that's lower than this high, and yet another lower low coming. Now, a lot of people like to look at it different and try to put out hopium. Guys, be cautious, be careful. I cannot stress enough. Here's back right here, we called these 5 waves down, right? This ABC, I thought we were topped here, right? But we did make a new high. Bull trap, got everyone bullish just to dump, right? That's how these markets work. They trick the crap out of you, right? Now, these targets were from way back here when we broke this. I put this target, 25, bam, we nailed it, right? Then my next target was 15.6, bam, nailed it, right? Then we got a bounce, kind of like in Tesla, a bounce before the true bottom, right? You get a bull market rally, come back down. Guys, if you haven't done it already, make sure you smash the likes if you enjoyed these videos. But like I said, all these markets seem to be pointing the same direction, and the direction is down in the macro, right? So now, if we break this 25.7 again, definitely coming down to test this low, in my opinion, right? In my opinion, I could be wrong. But coming down to test this low, probably get a bounce in here. But once this breaks, I'm looking for that 97, possibly as low as 37. There's a 15.33 down here. Not saying I think that's going to happen, but if things got really bad, anything's possible, right? All right, here's another look at the daily. Same targets. I'm not going to go over that. So a word from my sponsor real quick, Prime XBT. If you guys are interested in trading, we'll go into the 4-hour next. But if you guys are interested in trading, definitely check them out with my promo codes down below. And I'll be back in a second.
Begin your path to financial freedom. Gain up to a $7,000 bonus on us. Register and use promo code. Deposit and enjoy a 7% bonus. Available now. Link in the description.
All right, guys, back again. So these are the major areas of resistance we need to watch. 28.8 and 32.9 if this was the break. Not saying it's going to go up there. I'm just saying those are areas you should watch. Again, on the daily, you can watch this trend line. If we do come back up to test it in the RSI right here, move this up a little bit. If we do come back up, test this in the RSI, that could be retesting this range. Like I said, this trend line here, 28.8. Big bull trap if it does, in my opinion. We'll see what happens. But nevertheless, let's zoom in here. You can see we are on the 0.382 fib, getting our bounce here. 28 would be our 55 EMA and our 0.236 fib. If we get back below this 382, this will become resistance. And then our next target to look for on the fibs would be around 23.6. And then our trend line, of course, is down here, but that moves according to where we go, right? All right. Prime XBT that I just showed you. You can use my promo code Savvy50 to get you up to a $7,000 bonus. Savvy25 will get you 25% off your fees. The link is down below. You can also trade for free in the contest section. But you can trade Forex, gold, silver, oil, S&P, Dow Jones, crypto, everything, all from one exchange. So you ain't got to be jumping around from exchange to exchange. Definitely check them out if you haven't already. By far, my favorite exchange. I don't trade against you like a lot of scammy ones. So here's the 4 hour, right? A lot of people are looking at this as a falling wedge. So these were two of our measured move targets, 26.7 and 26.150. Right now, this has become resistance. If we look at this on the daily, right, we had it. Let me show you something. We had a daily sell signal right here. If you guys are familiar with my EMA strategy, daily sell right here. Our 8, 13, and 21 crossed the 55, and you can see what happened. Let's take a look at something else. Let's throw this on the 2-day real quick. We'll go back to the 4 hour. Whoops, that's a 3-day, 2-day. Look what happened there. 2-day sell signal right here. Now, that doesn't mean you can't bounce up before continuing down. But the 8, the 13, and the 21 EMA crossed the 55 in a massive downtrend. Be careful, guys. I think this might be a huge dump coming. It's very possible to surprise everybody. Back to the 4 hour. All right, so in the 4 hour, what's our next target here? Well, so far, let's take a look at where this bounce area is. If we get down to it in the next day or two, we'll be right in this range on this trend line, 25.5, right? 25.5 breaks. If it does, we're looking for around 29 or 23,000. If it goes a little bit further, it would go down to this trend line right here. You can see off of these wicks here, that would get us down to somewhere in the 22.3 range. So this white trend line breaks, it's going to be a quick fall. Not saying that's going to happen instantly, but this could happen in the next week or two. So be very cautious. BNB, you guys know my opinion on BNB. I think they are in massive trouble, kind of like what happened over here in FTX. And we're going to zoom in just to this section here, right? We called all this right there, hit our target at 202 after breaking our channel here. If we already come up and retest the channel, could be as high as 23.5, depending on how quick it would get up there. But if it was to happen the next day or so, it would have to break 240. So anything below here, we still, I think, are going to come back down for a retest here. Most likely break. Then we have a target of 148. What happens if 148 breaks? 67. What happens if 67 breaks? Binance is done. If this breaks, right? But there's still a chance to bounce from here and continue the bull market. But that's what I'm looking at there. XRP, as I showed you guys, I think it's just major pump and dump. Just a hype coin that the hype is dying. You can see it's just getting lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. Everyone gets super excited. There's always some news to pump it, but it never gets above this yellow trend line on the wicks. And it never opens or closes above this white trend line right here. And this is all the way back from, well, let's say the first pump. right? 2017. Is it 2017? Yeah, 2018, January 2018. Then you had this pump here in April 21, and this pump here in July 23. And you can see what it's looking like. I am not bullish on that at all. I'm not saying you can't make money trading it, but I would never hold it. My opinion, right? All right, taking a look at our Ethereum chart. So we broke our 1783. Our next point of support is 1431. If we break the 1431, 926. Now that doesn't mean in a day, guys, but this 926 breaks, we get 280. 280 breaks, 114. Litecoin, we broke our 78. If we break our 6088, and I have not changed these targets, I have not moved anything. I am probably the only guy out here on YouTube that actually keeps my targets. You'll see them in the next video. If I do change anything, I'll change it on a video, and then we'll keep it the same for a long time. My opinion doesn't change day to day, news article to news article. It's all about the data in the charts, right? The charts don't lie. But if this breaks, we do have a high volume node here at 56, but 23 and then 15. And in a worst case scenario, we could go down to like $4 or $5. But I do see Litecoin most likely getting back to these areas. Now, for those bubble pop patterns that I talked about, right? Here's one right here. This is the Amazon bubble pop, right? You can see where it started way over here, and it returned right back to where it began. And yes, it had 100% rally too, right here. That was actually like 115% rally. It was from 45 all the way up to like 92. And then it came back down to 27. Huge drop, guys. Doesn't look that big in this. I have it on a weekly, just like this is. But as you can see, we had our false bottom and then continued down to new lows. I do see us coming back down to these lows, guys, from 3,500 to 97. I'm still looking in that area. You can see here on the weekly RSI, once that broke, that was signifying the false bottom here. Same thing over here, false bottom. Same patterns, guys. Nintendo bubble pop, same thing, 100% rally. I'm sure everyone was super bullish in there. It has to go back up, right? It was way up here. It's going back to the moon. No, it came down and made a true bottom after the false bottom. Just these don't play candle to candle. This is a market structure, human emotion. All the things that were going on here are the things that were going on here. Right here, Sony. And remember, Sony and Nintendo, it's been over 15 years and Nintendo still hasn't made a new all-time high. Sony, it's been over 20 years and still hasn't made an all-time high. But they did get a huge jump. So there's still, so not getting to an all-time high in another 10 years doesn't mean there isn't going to be huge opportunity, right? I'm not saying it's going to zero. People need to pay attention and listen to what I'm saying. There are huge opportunities coming, and opportunities doesn't mean it has to get to a new all-time high in the 4-year cycle, which I highly doubt. I'm not saying it's not possible, but there's still going to be huge opportunity here, guys. Yeah. Let me know below what you guys think, and make sure you smash that like. Do you guys want to see some live streams? And again, do you want to see it a couple days a week, maybe just on the weekends or something where we all get together? You tell me what charts you want to look at, and I go over it and give you my opinion on it. Again, thanks for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thanks for sharing my videos. Thank you for giving me mentions out there and all that. It really does help grow the channel. The best thing you can do is smash the likes and leave comments below, though. It helps push the video out. Thanks again for watching. I will see you in the next video. Have a great day.